Hello and welcome to Everything's Fine Probably, the show that takes the week's news, hoses it down, Febrezes it and hopes no one notices the smell of panic beneath. And what a week! A week so strange that reality feels like it's being written by a committee of goldfish with short attention spans. Let's start with the headline that made me laugh so hard that my soul briefly left my body for a quick tea break. Donald Trump has been awarded the FIFA Peace Prize. FIFA, the organisation whose moral compass spins like a drunk on an office chair, proudly announced a peace prize and gave it to a man whose idea of conflict resolution is tweeting in block capitals. Donald J. Trump is the face of peace. I mean, those three words in one sentence feel like a cry for help from the English language. This is a man who once threatened Denmark because they wouldn't sell him Greenland. It's like giving King Herod a childcare award. It's like handing the Nobel Prize for Literature to a microwave manual. Or giving Joey Barton a job in conflict mediation. Which brings me neatly to Joey Barton, who managed to collect a suspended jail sentence for being, and I think this is the legal term, a foul human being. The court didn't quite put it that way, but you could see the judge thinking it. The man spent his whole career doing two-footed lunges on people's hopes and dreams. If he showed up at a kid's Be Kind assembly, the fire alarm would go off out of self-preservation. Barton responded by saying he was misunderstood, which is what men always say right before a Netflix documentary with ominous piano chords. And speaking of Netflix, Netflix is buying Warner Brothers, the streaming service that thinks Are You Still Watching counts as emotional intimacy, now owns the studio behind The Matrix, Harry Potter, and roughly half your childhood. At this point, Netflix owns so much IP that if you sneeze near a screen, you owe them royalties. So after all of that, I think it's fair to say we could use something hopeful before the week folds itself into a paper aeroplane and dives straight into the bin. And that's exactly why we do this show. The world gives us Trump with a peace prize, Barton waving his moral compass like a glow stick, and Netflix hoovering up media like a content-hungry Dyson, and we respond by saying, no, absolutely not. We're having good news, whether you like it or not. So like popping a multivitamin for the soul and hoping it kicks in before something else catches fire. Now, fortunately, I'm not doing this alone. We've got Shelley, the patron saint of side-eye, ready to bring stories that make you feel warm and slightly judged. And we have Gemma, who keeps wandering into these episodes and immediately raising the professionalism quota in ways that make the rest of us uncomfortable. Together, we are basically the Avengers, if the Avengers solved everything with sarcasm, bewilderment, and occasionally Googling whether a story is actually true. So how are we? Are we ready for Christmas?
Define ready.
No.
That is my answer to the original question.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm in a surprisingly good mood at the moment.
Good God, what's wrong with you?
I don't know.
I know, I get what you've done. This is Laura, isn't it? Very good, you guys.
Yes, to anyone who doesn't know what he's talking about, Jim discovered that I was a twin.
Well, I didn't know you were a twin, to be fair. I just never met your twin. But when you meet your twin and you're not there, that's a bit confusing.
It's actually more confusing when we're both together. It's really confusing.
Well, no, it's quite easy to tell you apart because she's the nice one.
Oh, that's because you don't know her yet. Yeah, no, I'm in a good mood. I was just thinking though about the FIFA Peace Prize that you were talking about. Is that actually a thing?
Well, it is in that it did actually exist, but it never existed before that. It's a little bit like Well, I didn't win a prize at school sports day, and my mum made me a medal out of a yogurt pot.
Well,
It's
that's
that
what I
sort
was
of thing.
thinking. It's a bit like you're here. We heard that you didn't win the Nobel Peace Prize, so we made you a special little prize all for you. And this is a FIFA one, so it's even better.
Yeah, I mean, I have now changed what I'm getting everyone for Christmas this year, and I'm giving them Jim Blythe Peace Prizes. There's essentially chocolate money on a piece of string, but hey,
Do I get one?
would you like one, Shelley? I mean, they
Well,
are utterly
yeah.
worthless. It's not even the expensive chocolate money.
I was going to put like a photo of me receiving it in my portfolio.
I
Like,
mean, honestly, one of the sights this week was the president, the actual president of the United States, putting a made-up Peace Prize over his own head.
oh, yeah.
Well, as Christmas gets ever closer, the good news, listeners, is that Shelley has got some top tips to get you through the Christmas period.
I have. I have. And the really good thing about these top tips are that I have completely made them all up by myself. I
Okay.
am so creative. Well, okay, it is a little bit based in research,
Okay.
but yeah, so I did get some advice from like mental health places and things, but I've
I will be honest, because when I saw this, I got a bit excited and I made a few up myself as well.
did
So
you?
they're not based on anything.
Yeah. Well, we can actually have a little good sort of, we can all chip into this. This is fine. I mean, one of the first things I was going to ask both of you, though, is how do you feel about Christmas?
Um, Look, I'm not a massive Christmas fan, I suppose. I don't mind it. I don't find it objectionable, but I can't help but feel my life would be much easier if it just wasn't really there.
It's like when we were talking about it earlier this year about something or other, and we were saying, why can't they make Christmas every other year?
Yeah, like the World Cup and things like that. You have to make it every
It's
second
like
or a
a
4-year
Christmas
cycle.
year. It's a
Yeah.
Christmas year.
Alternate it with Easter.
No, 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 I'm all right with Easter. Easter's good. Easter can stay.
Is that
See?
the chocolate eggs?
Well, it's the 4-day bank holiday
Oh, well,
and
we can still have those. Don't get me wrong. That's the bit I like. Go on, Gemma.
mm,
Leap year. Leap year is the perfect answer, surely.
What,
Extra day,
move it to the
that's
29th
Christmas.
of December,
Gosh.
of
so
February.
yeah, Christmas every leap year.
I mean, they've moved Christmas before. Why not again?
Yeah.
They've cancelled Christmas before. um,
How do you
I,
feel about Christmas, Shelley?
oh well, I mean, this is kind of one of the things that's brought me to this because I've actually sort of fallen out of love with Christmas recently. Over the last few years, I have struggled to really motivate myself with Christmas. And I think some of the problem with that is, just the years, how your life changes. And I think years of actually working in healthcare probably didn't help because years of like say doing shifts and actually just working all over Christmas like business as usual. And then I don't do shift work anymore, but I do still work in a sense that you're usually quite limited on how much time you can take off around Christmas. And when you come in, like, so we'll only have like the 2 days, and then when you come back in, you've all that work has been piling up because you're still getting referrals and everything. So yeah, it kind of takes the pleasantness out of it a little bit. But I've just sort of thought, no, I think actually you've got to start trying to enjoy this year, part time of year again, because actually that's what it's supposed to be for. So I'm basically, is it kind of like Christmas mindfulness that I'm trying to exercise here? With that, I have come up with my top 5 Christmas tips for being a bit of a Grinch and then trying to make yourself fall in love with Christmas again.
Fabulous.
So, You will thank me, everybody.
Preparing myself.
Number one, set realistic expectations. So this means if you are currently living payday to payday, like most of us are, then sod it. Don't try and put on some amazing display and invite tons of people round and do the whole big Christmas thing. If you don't do that, it means that you might get invited to somebody else's house and they will have to feed you. Congratulations, you have just saved some money.
One thing I like to do to try to avoid arguments on Christmas Day, wrap yourself in tinsel. Nobody argues with the person who looks like a camp transformer.
Actually, I do have a memory though of like being a student nurse in ED and around Christmas time, and there was a huge fight on a night out amongst a load of men who were all dressed as Father Christmas.
Excellent. I like that
And
very
you know, so there were like in the bays, there were like men dressed as Father who had like blood in their fake beards.
well. Wow.
They needed my top tips, really.
And on that top, what's the next top tip, Shem?
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh yeah, I forgot. I've only done one.
Yeah, you haven't well, maybe you have finished. I don't know.
This might be the whole show. Right. So two,
Mm.
don't be ashamed of not spending a fortune on presents. The only people who really want presents are kids or childish adults who you probably hate. Focus on the kids, and the childish adults can bugger off. I have decided with some of my friends that we're not going to buy each other presents. We're just going to meet up with each other and have a nice evening together. And that's
Mhm.
like our present to each other. It's just having some spending money for wine. So, you know, I think
So
lots of
don't buy presents,
people,
spend it on alcohol instead.
yeah, I mean, but
Yeah.
everyone's all like in the same boat at the moment, aren't we? Like we're all feeling the pinch.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually don't be embarrassed, just actually speak to some of your friends, and you probably will find that they're kind of relieved if you say, "Oh, should we not do presents?"
And
I
Christmas
think,
shopping is quite stressful, isn't it? I
yeah,
like I like to practice shopping mindfulness. So if, for example, the supermarket's very busy, and that's quite stressful, I like to start narrating it in my head like it's a festive David Attenborough documentary. Here, the British shopper enters its natural habitat, the Isle of Despair, and just allow yourself to run with it.
see, I've actually managed to master the art of basically doing all of my Christmas shopping online now.
And that's another
How
way to.
about you, Gemma?
I'm a very last minute shopper, to be fair. Yeah,
Whatever they have in the jet garage.
you're on to me. You're on to me.
Yeah.
But you're saying about the David Attenborough, we're discussing potential Christmas special. Maybe that's it.
Mm, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to move myself on this time.
Do.
You don't have to do it for me, Jim. Right. Number three. If you have got a childish adult to deal with, and I take inspiration from one of our previous episodes here, just sponsor something in their name. For example, a gay sheep for your right wing dad.
Excellent.
Thank you, Stu, for that idea. So,
The wool of a gay sheep.
yeah, well, I don't think he could afford to buy a jumper
No, well, he was
um,
only wanting to sponsor it for a day, wasn't
from
he?
gay wool, but you know, sponsor one day's worth of gay sheep. I think that's fine, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Good.
Yeah,
Lovely.
and that'll you can enjoy seeing their face as well. I sponsored my brother-in-law a bee once.
A bee.
Yeah, yeah, I sponsored him a bee. I can't.
You,
You could pick what level of bee you wanted from the hive as well, like soldier, worker, or scout, or things like that. I can't actually remember what I got.
Hmm. It just seems up to me to sponsor a single bee.
Yeah, you just sponsored one
Just
bee.
that one bee.
Do you get a personalised photo of your bee?
Just to be right to you on your birthday and
You know, he
Christmas.
never really ever discussed it with me ever since, so I don't actually
Just get a
know.
letter that says bzzz.
I think, yeah, I think other than like the certificate he got, he really got like absolutely bugger all from me.
I'm not sure but I'd know quite what to say if someone sponsored a bee in my name.
Anyway, that is a thing that you can do. You are welcome. So, number 4, find things that give you Christmas nostalgia. You know, when you have the nice memories of Christmas, which I hope you do have, because if you have no nice memories of Christmas, then actually this probably isn't for you. You probably
I
might
think
need,
they've probably stopped listening by now,
I
Shay.
recommend some like eye movement therapy or something. I don't think this is going to help you in any way. But, nice things like, say, films you used to watch, or like putting on Christmas music. I actually made myself put my decorations up when I wasn't going to bother. But it's because it actually motivated me. And I went on YouTube, and you can just sort of get those sort of non-stop looping, relaxing Christmas music. And there was like a Victorian window with all snow coming down on my TV. And I had that while I was putting up my decorations. It was really relaxing. And then it motivated me to panic buy a load of for everyone's Christmas presents. And because I'm a manager, I have to buy presents for all of my employees. So I've now bulk ordered 36 emotional support gherkins.
Why not? I thought you were going to say you'd sponsored a whole hive this year.
Sorry, pickles. Emotional support pickles.
I assume they're the crocheted ones, not actual pickles.
No, they're even more shit, to be honest. They're just little tiny plastic gherkins
Oh,
that
right, okay.
I'm having to stick to bits of card myself and put them into a little like organza bag.
Okay.
Would you both like one? Because I think I'll have some left over. I don't have 36 people working for me, so
It'd be tricky for you to bring them down, Charlie, so don't.
no, it really wouldn't. I can bring
They
you
might not fit in your luggage. I don't do that to yourself.
Gem,
It's
I
just
know you
more
want
stress for
one.
you. It's more stress.
I am proper intrigued, Shelley. I'm
There
not
you
going to
go.
lie.
There you go. If I forget them now, I'm going to feel terrible. I mean, it'll ruin your Christmas. Anyway, the other thing I am trying to do is find the closest replica to Coffee Cream Quality Street, because they got rid of them. They don't exist anymore.
Do they not?
No.
They were never a favourite, so I wouldn't
See, I
say
always
their
liked them.
absence.
Joe is still reeling from Terry's Twilights disappearing off the market a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
They were a bit of a Christmas favourite of hers.
Yeah. At least you can still get after eights, though. They really taste like Christmas, don't they?
I don't like mint chocolate.
I'm out on
Oh,
that one as well.
oh, Christmas sounds awful in your family. Anyway, to wrap things up, tip number 5,
Hmm.
most important of all, do not be afraid to say no, especially for all of those of you who are working this Christmas. You are already doing your bit for the world. So you should not have to feel guilty if you do not want to do certain things. It's absolutely fine. I think it's like trying to find a mix of making other people happy with making yourself happy at the same time. And I do think it is possible to actually find that balance. But also, you will notice, you get the ones who make all the effort at Christmas, but then they're the ones who are always worried about pleasing everybody else. If you put loads of hard work into Christmas, but then the ones who sulk and make it really rubbish, they never put in any effort.
What you could do is set up like a little complaint creche, and anyone then who wants to moan or complain, they've got to sit in the designated area and do it quietly, supervised by a toy elf.
Yeah, I mean that could work, couldn't it?
Could
I mean,
do
I
that.
think I think if people going to sulk when you put in tons of effort to Christmas, you should actually just give them a real thing to sulk about and just not bother with them.
You could do that, or you could preempt all of this by assigning everyone safe words, right? And imagine how it would diffuse the tension if your nan suddenly shouts marmalade or something at a critical moment during the day because
The
she's
other things
feeling
that's
the
quite good
stress
is
levels rising.
the other thing that's quite good to do is like, you play some sort of bingo on, the people who really, the person who really annoys everyone, and you have a bingo card for all the annoying things that they're going to say,
Yeah, could do that.
and there's a prize.
Oh, what final tip from me? If you're overwhelmed, just stand completely still and pretend to be a festive statue. People will leave you alone out of either respect or confusion. I mean, if
That's
those
okay.
Christmas stress busters don't keep you alive through December,
I was going to say at the end, I wrote at the end, just so you know,
hmm,
Merry Christmas and God bless us, everyone.
no, I think that's lovely. And I think we'll put a little boom thing in and just ride straight out of that into the next story. Let's pivot from Shelley's Christmas tips all the way into dogs saving lives by sniffing stomach cancer. Bit of a change of pace, right? So, Gemma, what's going on when your dog is a better doctor than your private medical insurance?
This one has been bubbling away nicely in the background for a little while now, but it seems that significant progress is being made with regard to breath tests for pancreatic and stomach cancer. Man's best friend is able to pick up on subtle changes caused by cancer disrupting regular cell functions. Dogs can sometimes even pick this up before symptoms appear. Imperial College London are working on a diagnosis inspired by this concept. Currently, stomach cancer is usually diagnosed by endos.
Endoscopy.
Yeah, thanks. Currently, stomach cancer is usually diagnosed by endoscopies, which, given vague symptoms and the nature of the procedure, leave GPs with a bit of a dilemma. However, the exciting development is, in effect, a breath test. Done in approximately 30 seconds, the collected sample is sent for analysis in a similar way to a blood test. Results would be back with a GP in just 3 days. According to pancreaticcancer.org, this is the most significant step forwards towards life-saving breakthroughs in 50 years.
Fantastic. So, we used to assume your dog stared at you because it loved you, but it might just be checking your biomarkers instead.
I like just dogs being just like in radiology departments and stuff. You've got to go in for like your Labrador scan.
That would be adorable. I've never
Yeah.
seen more people kind of relaxed and going.
Yeah. What did you have? Did you have a Labrador scan or a Spaniel scan?
Absolutely. Your lab results are back.
Hey.
Good. Well, that is an excellent news. Chalk another one up for man's best friend. Well, I don't know about you, but I quite like going places and not getting murdered while I'm there. Which is why I was cheered and slightly astonished, if I'm honest, to see that London's murder rate has fallen to its lowest level on record. That's right, the city where checking your pockets and your back seats is all part of the fun, but it might be slightly less lethal than we thought. Between January and September this year, recorded homicides hit a 22-year low. That's almost 60% down compared to the early 2000s. Violent crime resulting in injury, that's down across all 32 London boroughs. Knife crime, youth homicides, hospital admission from stab wounds, many of those are falling too. So, what's going on? Why does it feel like London is just for once behaving itself? Well, there's a few ideas for you, ranging from could be real to I might have had one too many coffees. Theory number one is more police, fewer problems. So the official line is more investment in policing, targeted intervention, prevention work from units like the city's violence reduction team are paying off. So maybe all those police boots on the ground, patrolling, youth intervention programs, knife crime crackdowns, maybe that's actually doing something. It's a novel thought, right? Theory two, everyone's too busy watching streaming wars to commit crimes. So hear me out on this one. We all spend half our lives staring at our screens now. So maybe part of the drop is boredom. If you spend your entire social life compressed into a group chat and the latest soap or thriller, or maybe you're just less likely to get into a fist fight at midnight outside a kebab shop. Theory
Hmm.
3 is based on soup kitchens, free pizza, and community outreach. Yes, really. So, with economic pressure and social programs, more resources are going into youth outreach and community support, mental health services, and helping people before they hit crisis points. So, sometimes the best way to stop a stabbing is to stop the desperation first. So, maybe there's that. Finally, theory number 4. Could it be it's the people, not the place? So London's population keeps growing. More people, more diversity, more eyes on the street. And maybe all these different communities, cultures, and backgrounds mixing properly is actually having a soothing effect. Think of it like a giant social blender. Okay, too many people from different walks of life to assume that everyone around you is public enemy number one. So maybe that dilutes the urge to treat random strangers like extras in a horror film. Or maybe Londoners are just too exhausted from yet another general election or news cycle or cost of living crisis to get up for murder. Maybe weariness is nature's violent crime deterrent. Maybe everyone's just flocking to Glasgow instead, because let's face it, moving north has become the trendy way to stay alive. Whatever the answer, if you're in London this week, which I am, maybe you can treat yourself to a late night kebab or a pint without scanning over your shoulder every 5 seconds. You might just get home.
I did wonder if murder rates had gone down.
What,
I
just
haven't, I haven't been.
randomly wonder that? You just sit there at home one day going, I wonder.
Well, I haven't been murdered for ages.
Well, maybe you're onto something there, Shelley. If
When was
people
the
aren't
last
murdering
time
people
you were
like you,
murdered?
then we.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because, if you just go by like the general media,
Hmm.
that would tell you that everything's worse, everything's awful, we're all going to die in our beds. But when you actually look at data,
Don't you go looking at facts, Shelley. We can't be bothered with those. You know how the media hate facts. Very inconvenient. So that's London and murders and stuff. Right, team. Let's talk plastic. Not the fun kind like credit cards or that weird sheen on festival toilets. I mean the tiny immortal goblins that currently colonise our oceans, soil, rivers, and probably our spleens as well. After the big UN treaty to end plastic pollution got derailed by petrostates back in August, big shock, eh? Scientists have basically gone, fine, we'll do it ourselves. And they've published a full roadmap for fixing the entire mess. Commissioned by Pew, the report just very politely explains that plastic pollution is set to double by 2040. Right, double. As in, beaches that already look like rubbish dumps will look like a poundland exploded on them. But here's the good part. The report also says that with solutions that already exist, we could virtually eliminate plastic pollution. 83% gone. Like a plastic-free magic trick performed by someone who isn't trying to sell you bottled water. Doesn't it absolutely murder your soul that the technology's ready, but half the companies responsible for the mess are still going, yes, but what if we wrap the bananas in more plastic? For freshness. The villains of the piece are the usual suspects. It's the petrochemical giants who triple book the planet for production, pollution, and profit. You know the ones. The companies who brag about sustainability goals while rolling out new products like single-use plastic deluxe edition. Meanwhile, countries like France have gone, no. Everyone gets refill stations. Bring your jars, your tubs, your mysterious Tupperware lids that no longer have matching bottoms, and go feral. And if these refill schemes actually scale, we could cut plastic pollution by 83%, reduce emissions, slash health impacts, and create 8.6 million jobs. 8.6 million. That's brilliant. Because by 2040, half of us will need new careers because AI will have replaced us. And by then, we might actually have realised that influencer isn't actually a proper career. The scientists behind this are not messing about either. One of them called it a wake-up call. That's science speak for we're not angry, we're just disappointed. You're aching to say something. You've actually used your lips to stop yourself talking.
I tried to say something at a really bad moment, but it just made me think there's like AI podcast where they've actually got the presenters are just AI.
Yeah, they're actually really quite easy to make. Honestly, it would be so much easier just to replace all of us with AI bots. Because I just put this script, bang it into there, and it would do it. And it get rid of all the ums and ers and people talking rubbish about cats and stuff like that, like we always do.
But then also surely you'd miss the gems of, you know, Stu asking people how their anus was and
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, AIs don't even have anuses as far as I'm aware. So we would have missed that whole thing.
I
There
think
can
we
be
need to
very
get
little joy in pumping all of this stuff into an AI and
can we
letting.
get Stu a t-shirt with how's your anus?
Well, it was his own anus he was talking about. I don't think he asked anyone else how their anus was. Did he ask
Oh,
Paul?
did he? He did.
Oh,
He
he
did.
did.
That was what was
Oh
really
no,
funny.
he
But
did.
he
That's right. So he
actually
went
went
round
up.
asking other people how their
Yeah.
anus was. You're
Well, he
quite
said,
right to
Does
check whether he
your
was the only one.
anus
Why do we have
hurt?
to keep going back to Stu's anus? When is this going to end?
It's
I'm
never
going
gonna
back to
end.
my story. I've had it. So look, the absolute best part of this report is that the solutions already exist. Okay, we've got refill schemes, we've got packaging redesign, loop systems, turning off the industrial fire hose of single-use junk. But the big barrier is corporations lobbying like their lives depend on it. Because apparently, if they don't shrink wrap each individual blueberry, civilization will collapse. So, what do you reckon, team? And without mentioning Stu's anus, if shops offered real refill stations, would you bring your own containers?
I like to think I would. Yet again, I do a lot of online shopping though, because it's just more convenient. But then I guess you've got to start thinking about the earth over your own convenience.
I think that might be useful at some point.
Maybe don't be so selfish. Oh, the only thing I do think about, hermit crabs. Have you seen like videos of like them, where they're kind of got
Oh, yeah, they've
confused
called out
and
their
they're like
shell.
maybe wearing like a yogurt pot or something as a little house. And then I'm thinking, well, actually, do they mind? Like maybe they might not want to not have yogurt pot houses.
Well, I think they did very well for quite a long time without yogurt pot
But it's
hoses.
it's
So
modernization though, isn't it?
I'm not even going to entertain this discussion any further. Gemma, would you use refill stations?
I think I would, particularly if there's kind of like a little bit of a financial perk to doing that. Like if you're taking your container, then you should surely be getting a slightly cheaper product, and I think that would add to the appeal. Obviously, the green credentials is like the main selling point,
Yeah,
but
is
to
there,
the mass market, particularly those who are on a lower income, to have a little bit of a financial incentive to get on board would be good.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd go all in. I'm not sure I'd be that good at it, to be perfectly honest. I'd probably be trying to refill washing up liquid into an old whiskey bottle and make the world's saddest cocktail.
Oh, is that creme de menthe? No, don't drink it.
I can also imagine
It's
kind of going a
vaguely a
little bit.
whiskey, of course I'm going to drink it. But like, in all seriousness, just yeah, imagine an ocean not full of shredded Tesco bags and decorative microbeads. Wouldn't that be good? Imagine not playing recycling Jenga every week. Imagine a future where your bloodstream is not 40% plastic and 60% despair. And we can have all of that. We just need to stop letting 24 companies treat the planet like a massive vending machine. So, good news. This report is the strongest sign yet that we can actually fix the plastic problem. Bad news, corporations will fight it harder than FIFA fights the idea of competent tournament management. But we'll keep following it. And if the petrochemical industry wants to join us on the right side of history, fantastic. But, if not, we'll see them in 2040 when the refill revolution kicks off and their shareholders start Googling what is a circular economy.
I think there'll be money to be made in all the lovely little convenient containers and stuff people will be buying. And then that's just one purchase.
It's like the bag for life all over again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would have to get some new containers because I think I'm pretty much just down to two Tupperware containers, all that have been stained orange from putting chili or bolognese in them.
How
So
is it? If one of those even comes slightly into contact with anything with a tomato base to it, they just immediately turn orange, don't they?
yeah, and it's really off-putting then, like when you then go and put like a salad in it another time.
That's all right.
This is what we
No, it's
need, like
just
the
tannin.
science. We need the science folks to be working on the Tupperware container that doesn't taint that easily.
Yes, there's one for the boffins.
Yeah.
Mm.
There you
Oh,
go.
so you said about the bag for life. I can imagine going rogue and just going and getting a bag for life full of penne.
Just holding up a bag to like a
Just fill it
dispenser.
up.
That is quite interesting though, an
Well, it
interesting look
is.
into
Just,
just
well, all we've got to do is just change the way we live slightly, not even majorly, slightly, and we
Hmm.
can sort out this massive problem overnight.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
take a lot. All right, time to shift gears again. We spend a lot of this show laughing at the state of the world because honestly, if we didn't laugh, we'd probably have to start stress eating our way through family-sized bags of Skittles and pretending that's self-care. But some stories matter too much to just shrug at. And this week, Shelley's bringing us one that's heavy, important, and very, very real. The BBC's reporting a rise in suicide rates and a sharp increase in people struggling with mental health, while support services are stretched thinner than a politician's apology. But alongside the bleak stats, there are people fighting back, mental health charities, community groups, crisis volunteers who somehow keep the lights on and the phone lines open and the compassion flowing. Shelley, over to you.
So I think a lot of my issue was though just with what I saw as quite a concerning way to cover mental health issues by the news. And also it just makes me worry about what's happening here. What is it they're trying to say? So I will explain. West Streeting has ordered an independent review into the reasons for the rising demand into services for like adult for like ADHD, autism, and mental health. The BBC were not really missing an opportunity there, decided to send a survey out to GPs and very much focused on the negative things they had to say about people with mental health issues. I mean, the headline for this was in quotation marks: life being stressful is not a mental illness.
I did see
So,
that headline, yes.
yeah, so, already you can kind of see that we're going down that route again, I would say, of people saying, look, it's all in your head. You're just making a fuss about nothing. And at the same time, they are cutting funding to lots of things. Like, and again, at the moment, if you're an adult in the UK who thinks you might have ADHD, there is nothing you can do about it right now. They have suspended the services for trying to get a diagnosis for ADHD. There isn't a willingness to really invest into any of these services. And I mean, but if you think about it, so a lot of the comments by the GPs were saying things like it's mental health problems are being overdiagnosed, or they're being underdiagnosed, or they're being over medicated, and all of these sort of concerns. And probably a lot of them are based in fact because actually GPs, even though they've been focused on certain things in the media that I think were very unhealthy. And it would be interesting to see what all the questions were in that survey as well. But a lot of them, they are actually the front line for dealing with mental health. And it's fair to say, no, it probably is all a bit of a mess and a muddle. But what do you think would probably help people to get a good solid diagnosis, or have someone to say, no, this isn't a mental health problem, or this is a mental health problem? Perhaps some good mental health services? That's an idea, isn't it? A
Well, it's a bit
suggestion.
controversial, Shelley, but
But people who actually work solidly in mental health and are experts and know what they're doing. So there's not something that's constantly just GPs just trying to deal with. And also, life is very stressful at the moment, but also having high levels of stress can make you ill. Having high cortisol levels all the time, all those things leading into, not sleeping properly. You end up starting getting like building up fat cells around the middle and around your organs. All of these things are so bad for you. So it is actually a health crisis that you can't just say, right, well, actually, all you need to do is stop being so lazy, pull yourselves together and get back to, because I feel like at the moment we're at the risk of going backwards.
Is there a risk that we are over medicating people, though, for any of these sorts of conditions where other solutions might be better?
I would say so, probably, yeah, because the reason people are being medicated is because there isn't anything else to offer them.
Mm,
Like antidepressants are kind of more like a pain really. They're a symptom reliever, aren't they?
yes,
So really
absolutely.
what it's like breaking your leg, but only being given morphine to treat it.
Mm,
And the rest of it, well, you're just going to have to let that heal itself.
yeah.
So that is kind of how we treat mental health, really, isn't it? There's so many other options out there, but they're just not available to people unless they have money. But anyway, don't worry, this is positive in the end. This is
Okay,
positive. So just before I finish
let's
the
bring it
press
back to that.
rule, campaigning and patient power is such a good way to go about it. And I think you have to really think about, there will be people who are impacted by mental health problems. There's a lot of you listening who will be impacted by mental health problems, but there are a lot of really good charities who do understand and they do know what is needed to support people properly with mental health. But they need attention and support and campaigning. I was having a little look at some of our UK mental health charities, and there is one that's actually called Mental Health UK, and they have a whole list of events that you can take part in, some on specific dates, but then some things that are just rolling, and you can just organize your own little events, and they're just kind of multiple dates and things all the time. For example, they've got Run Rome, so there's a marathon in Rome in March. That's on the 22nd of March next year. Jim, you could do that, couldn't you?
Well, I'm just going to jump in here because one thing that I have signed up to do, if anybody would be interested in sponsoring this, I'm doing Challenge 100 in January for the Epilepsy Society. So by whatever methods, not driving, but walking, running, swimming, skipping, cycling, whatever, you have to cover 100 miles over the course of
Is it like
January.
pedometer kind of tracked
I
on your
don't know how it's
phone?
tracked, to be honest. I've just signed up for it, but started running this year, so feel that I probably get fairly close to 100 miles a month for the most part anyway. But this will just encourage me to keep on going and hopefully to raise some money for a good cause. So we'll put some stuff on the socials around that if anybody is happy to help me raise some money for the Epilepsy Society.
That's good. So, okay, that will limber you up then for perhaps doing some for some
For
mental health
the
charities as well.
absolutely,
Yeah, we'll
absolutely.
see how much money you raise with that. And we'll be like, I got pound
Just keep
signs in
going.
my eyes just looking at you.
What, just one each month? Yeah,
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
charity.
But they also do glow night walks. They're multiple dates in different places. There's quite a few running events. They're doing a Great Wall of China trek in May. I would love to do that.
That would be amazing.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Let's go. We're going to do it. Everyone book time off in May.
Pod tea building exercise.
Yeah. Skydiving.
No.
No,
Why would
okay.
you jump out of a perfectly good plane? The only day I jump out of a plane is when that's the last resort.
Okay. What, like it's about to crash into a mountain?
Yes. It's that point at which you go, well, I might as well because the alternative's not looking great.
I mean, I don't know if I feel too, because if you've not done a skydive before, you go tandem, don't you? So it's
Mm.
actually someone else that does the jumping,
Hmm.
and you're just gripping onto them
Yeah.
like a koala.
But there's still pretty much the same amount of things that can go wrong.
But at least you won't die alone.
You're not really selling it to me.
There is also, they're doing Reset for mental health events where people who do like gamers and streamers can do 24-hour streaming events as well. So there's so many things going on. And this is me only just looking at one charity. So I bet if you look at lots of charities and also just other things as well for things like ADHD, autism, all of these kind of marginalized conditions, I think, yeah, New Year's resolution, start help supporting the ones that perhaps just don't get as much support.
Oh, I have an interjection, if I may.
Yes.
Interject away.
One of my lovely friends from dancing, every year he does a alternative Christmas album, and it's always kind of like donations for charity. This year's he is collecting for Inner Strength Support, a Norfolk-based mental health charity.
Fantastic. So how do people go and get this?
Can I give you the link to do the linky thing?
Give us the link to do the linky thing, and we'll get Stu to put that on the socials, and people can go on there and get the album. Fantastic. Well, that's us done for another week. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You have officially outlasted all of Ollie Pope's Ashes innings put together, and probably with more dignity intact. Oh, what things we've covered. Medically gifted dogs, London being slightly less murdery, and the ongoing festive campaign to stop you having a seasonal meltdown in a supermarket car park. I mean, what a show. If Gary Lineker isn't listening and thinking, the rest is fine probably, then there's just no damn justice. Now, before you wander off to Google how do dogs detect cancer or how do I survive Christmas, we need you to do the sacred podcast ritual, like, subscribe, review, share, whisper our name into the wind, carve our logo into a festive satsuma, drop it in your partner's stocking, tell a stranger on a bus, tell two strangers on a bus if you're feeling a bit spicy. Because every time you hit like or share, an algorithm somewhere gives us a tiny digital cuddle. So we'll be back next time with more joy, more nonsense, and more proof that humanity isn't entirely doomed. Until then, stay safe, stay silly, hydrate aggressively, and try not to be the reason that anyone falls back on Shelley's stress management tips. Goodbye, good luck, and remember, everything's fine, probably.